everyone, it's Leanne. Welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to Japan. I went to Japan this past summer for my birthday and I went to make washi paper. We did a Trafalgar group tour and one of the excursions was making washi paper. So I just wanted to take you along and show you the process. So we went to this location here in Gakuyama, which is on the western coast in central Japan. So at the place, they gave us all these little cups with little shapes. We wrote our name on a piece of washi paper. And so these were the elements we were going to use to put in our washi paper postcard that we make. So here we're getting set up and we went in 2 batches. So first of all, the sensei, I think that's what it is, teacher in Japanese, the sensei, was showing us how to create the washi paper postcards. So they're giving us this mechanism here, which is a platform with 3 windows in it and a screen behind each of the windows. And so we have to dip it into this pulp mixture, which is harvested from trees that create the washi paper. And we have these baths to dip these into. So we have to dip it in 3 times to create the layers of the washi paper. So what happens is you need to dip it in vertically, 90-degree angle, and then you scoop up some of the pulp and you make sure that you jiggle it back and forth just to get the water out, to strain out the water, and then you let it sit for a bit and let the water just soak through. So that just leaves the pulp on the top in the screen, and that makes your layers of the washi paper. Now here he's demonstrating what happens if you don't do it at a 90-degree angle. You get ripples in your paper, so you don't want to do that. So then next you have to bring it over to this station, and this is where we get to add our shapes that we're given. So while the paper is still wet, we add the shapes into the pulp layers, and that makes our little postcards. So now that we've done this, we get to do our turn. So here I am, and I'm doing my washi paper. And so trying very hard to remember all the steps and do it exactly the way we were instructed. So once you do the jiggling, then you have to let it sit for a minute just to let the last of the excess water drip off. So then doing another dip, this is my second one here, and just doing the jiggling again. It's kind of funny to look at everyone and they're all jiggling their little washi paper things. So then we wait for our instructions, and then our sensei tells us again to dip one more time to get that last layer of washi paper pulp. So when you scoop it up, it has a lot of water at the beginning, so you have to be careful that you don't just jiggle all the water and the pulp off of your screen. And then once you get a little bit of the water out and it settles, then you just jiggle it ever so slightly just to get it laying even, to create that even layer of paper. So once we have that done, we come over to the next station. And so here I am putting the shapes into my little postcards. And we have a shape for each, and then sort of like a postcard mark. So we have the Gakuyama name, and then we also have Gakuyama written in kanji. So they had a little paper set up for us to know which way was up, because none of us could read kanji. So we knew which way to put the little Japanese writing, so that it was right side up and not upside down. So I was pushing my shapes into the pulp. I didn't want to push too much because you could easily have just smeared it and made dents, but I did want to make sure that my paper stuck, so I just tapped them ever so lightly to get them damp and sticking to the pulp layer. Now this is the next step, and what they're doing is adding one more layer of the pulp and water mixture. So it looks like just water, but it does have the pulp inside as well, and this is just sealing our shapes into our paper. Now once that's done and it's sit for a few minutes and the water's drained off, they're just removing them from the frames to get them ready to go through the vacuum. This process happens really fast, and I'm impressed at how quickly they're able to make the paper from this point. So now the lady in the middle here is running these over a vacuum, which is sucking out the last of the water from the pulp mixture in those layers. And then it releases from the screen, and she passes it over to her coworker, who then puts it on this board at the back of the room, and the paper sticks onto the board just because that paper is still a little bit damp. She brushes it down onto the back of the board, and it sticks there, and it waits for about 10 minutes. It doesn't take very long, and then the paper's set and it's completely dry. It is quite incredible. So while we were waiting for our paper to dry, we went and looked around the shop at all the different washi paper things that they had made. And so just the different artisan wares were just incredible. They had these flowers and the fans. They also had all these paper lanterns, and the detail was just so amazing. They're so delicate, but they have all these different patterns and different cutouts, die cuts with the flower patterns, and they're just beautiful. Like, they were just stunning, and the just amazing amount of things that you couldn't even imagine that you could make with washi paper. These were little gift boxes that were pre-wrapped. These here were little bags with zippers. They could be like makeup bags or pencil cases, and just absolutely beautiful. And every range of color and pattern and style. They had quite a crazy selection that you could pick from. These are little notepads that they had as well, and they had these little notebooks which were really sweet. And so everything in the shop is made of washi paper. It's so awesome. I was totally in my element, and I couldn't wait for this excursion on our trip. Here's some hairbands and some buttons, just really neat options. They had some artwork here too, written on the washi paper. Very, very beautiful. They also had some washi paper you could buy for origami and folding. This one here had a nice texture to it, almost like a lattice. And I don't know how they got that result with this. It's just so cool. It was so neat. It almost looks like fried cheese or something. It's got the holes though. It looks really cool. And here's some washi paper for origami as well, for Japanese folding. And so this is what I bought. I picked up a package of these. I just thought they were so pretty. And I liked the variety that they had too. So this is the one I actually got. And I just love it so much. And I'll show that at the end of the video as well. They also had some sample origami, which were really neat. You could purchase some pre-folded cranes. They had the instruction booklet. They also had some kits ready to go. So these are flower kits that you could make. And they had a few different varieties of the flower kits. Here's another option that you could get. And these are really cool too. Some different pattern shapes. This is showing how to create the flowers, the pieces to construct them. They also had this big selection in the back of these huge washi paper sheets, and they were so gorgeous. I wish I could have transported these home easier. I would have definitely bought some. They were really, really big. I've never seen them in that size before. And these are some art prints they had. I really love these. They were very expensive though. They're really so pretty, and they have the gold in there, and just the detail and the intricacy is just incredible. They're so pretty. Here's a look at some more. And then just continuing through the store, we found this wall where they have famous people, I presume, that have visited the area and the shop. I don't know who these people are, but I thought it was really fun to see all these signatures and the pictures. So I decided to take a quick video of those as well, just in case one stood out. My mom had the person helping write her name in kanji, and when we put it in Google Translate, it actually had her name in English. So we were all excited that it actually worked. So here's a look at the washi paper that I purchased. And so it come wrapped in this piece of paper that they added after, and it's also washi paper, super soft and really pretty. And so I just love this variety pack because there's so many colors and patterns, and I just thought it would be really great for card making because it would give me a lot of different backgrounds and varieties. And I may also try some origami folding as well with these. I might have to look up some patterns or some shapes or whatever, but I thought that'd be really fun. So we'll just take a look at the different origami patterns that I got with this kit. So the top one is my favorite. It's so pretty, and that's the reason I bought it. And then it had a flat color or just a basic color in between each pattern layer, which I thought was really neat because it's almost like it provides a coordinating color to go with each pattern layer, which is really neat. I also found that the pattern papers were a lot thicker than just the plain colored paper sheets. They were a lot thinner, so I found that kind of interesting. I'm not sure if they apply the patterns on top in some other way. I don't even know how they print the patterns. But it is very interesting. But those pattern layers are a lot thicker than just the solid colors that are in between. And then here's another one too. I turned this over, I was surprised that it's not very transparent at all, especially with that pattern being really solid and heavy visually. I was expecting to see it more through the back than I did. So even though they're thick, they're still paperweight, I would say. The pattern pieces, at least those solid colors, are very thin. But I was surprised that it wasn't more transparent. And this one is so pretty, and a lot of them just have hints of gold. This one just had a little, the lines of gold around the leaves. Very subtle and hard to see, kind of catches your eye, but it doesn't stand out too much. And it just gives that little glint of gold shimmer. It's so pretty. And this one's really fun too. Their colors, probably not colors I would normally choose, but I just find they're so pretty and bright and unique. I really enjoyed the patterns that came in this set. And then a coordinating piece of black to go with that, which is really cool. So I'm just going to stack these back in the reverse order so I get that pretty one on top that's caught my eye when I was shopping in the store. And so now here's a look at my washi paper that I made during my washi paper experience. So here's the brochure that they gave us. It has the lanterns on the front, like we saw in the shop. And then this is the store that we went to. This is what it looks like. We did the washi paper experience at the end in that little hut there, and it was all connected. We entered at this gate here. That was the store area. And then this is kind of like a little shopping mall. And this is where we went to do the entire experience. And so, as I mentioned, this was in Gokuyama, which is on the western side of Japan, in about central Japan. So now we'll take a look at my washi papers. And the washi papers turned out really fun. I was really excited. They're really flat, considering that we did those layers. And they're really soft, too. And there's a little bit of texture, but it's not a lot. It'd be enough to write on. And you can see how it thins out on the ends as the layers thin out on the edges too, and it kind of gives that wispy look, something that you normally see if you buy uncut sheets of paper from an art store, or sometimes books have those ragged edges. It's just really pretty. I love that look so much. And so here's a look at my other postcards, and I have my kanji symbols as well for the town name. And then the heart too has that kind of watercolory look to it. So you can see it's very opaque. You can barely see the heart through the back. And so these are my washi papers that I made. So that's my trip to Japan and my washi paper experience. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit different, but I thought it was paper related and you might enjoy it as well. If you did like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you're notified as I post more videos. Thank you so much for watching.